Let's create the blueprints with all the necessary fields we might need. These will be just the main fields for now, and we are going to come back to the blueprints as we build our website and add any necessary fields later too. So this will be a work in progress. Let's start with the author. Since the author details are unlikely to change much, and we will reuse them throughout the website, we can create them as a global set. In the control panel, in globals, we will create a new set. I'll call it author and edit blueprint by clicking on this link. We will create an assets field for the author's image called image. We need to add one to the max files field here, because if we leave the field empty, the icon will not show. Next, a text field for the name. Now we will need 3 link fields for the social media links, Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, together with their icons. This is a great time to create a field set for the social media link, because each social media will need a link and an image, and field sets is a set of fields that can be reused in our blueprint. Let's save our progress on the author blueprint and go to Field Sets. In Field Sets, I'll create a new one called Social Media. Then I'm going to create an Assets field for the logo and a link field for the URL. Let's save our field set. Back in our author blueprint, we will need to link to the field set 3 times for our 3 social media links. Click on Link an existing field set and prefix each field set with Facebook, Instagram and Twitter for each social media link. Save, and let's check our author global set. We will fill all the details in the next video, so this is all we need to do for the author at the moment. Next is the Pages collection. The collection already exists as it comes by default with every new Statamic installation. All we need to do is to configure the blueprint. We will need a title field and a BART field. The title is already created by default, so the only field I need to create is the BART field. I'll delete the current field because it is a markdown field and we need a rich text editor. We'll give it a name content and that's all. BART is a very flexible field with many options. We could do a lot with it and I encourage you to explore the BART field in detail. But in this instance, we will just create it and leave all the defaults. The template field is needed because we need to be able to set a different template for different page. But we won't need the author field, so I'll delete it. I'm also going to reorder the fields, because I prefer to have the template field as the last one, but that's simply my preference. Save, and let's see the page entry. And here are our fields: the title field, the content field, which is a rich text editor, and the template field. Okay, let's move on to books. We need to create a new collection first. In the collections, I'll click on Create New Collection. I'll call it Books, scaffold the views, and leave the default ones that Statamic suggests. Next, I'm going to check the configuration, and as you can see, Statamic already selected the template for us. The only thing we need to do here now is add the route to the individual book page. You can make the route anything you like, but I'm going to use the standard books/slack. The slack is a dynamic variable, and it will change depending on the title of the book. I'm not going to do anything else here for now. We can always come back later if we need to. Let's go ahead and configure the book's blueprint. Again, Statamic has already created some default fields for us, but we will delete what we don't need and create what we do, because the book will have a text field for the title, a BART field for the book blurb, and an assets field for the book image. We will also need fields for the reviews. The content field is a markdown, but we want to have a rich text editor here. So we can either delete the field and start over, like we did with the pages collection, or we can go to the code and update the field inside the YAML file. I'll show you how to do that. Before we go ahead, we need to save the blueprint, and then go to Resources, Blueprints, Collections, Books in the code. Override the markdown type for the content field with Bart and save the file. Back in the control panel, if I refresh the page now, we can see that the type of the field has changed. Let's also add an assets field for the book's image. We could set more things in this field, such as create a new container that would hold the images, but I'm not going to do that now. We could do it later if we find we need to. However, I will set the max number of files allowed to just 1. We will also need to add a relationship entries field to link a book to its reviews, so that we can dynamically display the book's reviews. However, we can only do that after we create the reviews collection, so I'll come back to this in a moment. Before we move on, let's add metadata section in this book blueprint. This is so that we can add custom metadata to the website, which is great for SEO purposes. There is a paid plugin that will allow you to do this, and much more. But let's start simple and just implement some of the basic SEO functionality ourselves. I'll create a new section called Meta. Add a text field for the meta title, which we will limit to 60 characters. And a text area field for the meta description, which should be around 155 characters. We could also create a meta image assets field, but I think that the meta title and meta description are enough to get us started. Let's save the blueprint and click on the Collections Books and create a new entry. And you'll see we have these 2 tabs here, the main tab and the meta tab. Next, let's create the reviews collection. Let's scaffold the views and configure it. I'll just need to add the route reviews Slack. Save, and let's configure the blueprint now. Each review will have an author name, an author detail, the review content, and a reviewed book field. I'll delete the content field because it's a markdown field, and we need a Bart field here, and create all the other fields. When we create the entries field, we can now link to the collection we are creating this relationship for. I'll select Books and save. Let's save the blueprint and let's go back to the Books blueprint. I'm going to create a new entries field and call it Related Review. I'll link it to the reviews collection, click Finish, save the blueprint, and that's our Books blueprint done. And that's all we needed to do with the blueprints for now. We can always go back and add more if we find we need some extra fields, but this is enough to get us started.